Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming for the training Thursday again. Um, Today we're gonna look into a yield percent, how to calculate a yield percentage from Metal Takeoff.
Tony, you got
With the,
muted. You got muted, Tony.
okay, you guys hear me now? Good. All right, start over again. Yay. Okay, so today I'm gonna show you, how to calculate a yield percentage from Metal Takeoff. The process is pretty simple. Um, Usually, uh, Yana will run all the Metal Takeoff and send me a Metal Takeoff optimization list, which has a total, also field use and weekly releases. Um, when we start looking into it, we base what we looking into it. We look into the part. We look into the cuts, start length sizes, and finish. Also, of course, we're looking at the dollar amount too. Before we start, before I start showing you how to calculating it, a couple of things I want to show to you. As you can see it, there's a blue color under the part number. There's a red color, under the slot length sizes. If you put your cursor close to it, hop over. Let me pull up this. Hop over to the little triangle right there. It's have a describe, what's a blue color, what's a red color means. In here, in the parts number, under the parts number columns, it is a blue color. The part is the correct standard stock length size. If it's a red, the part has a standard stock length sizes, but it is not being used. And on the stock length sizes area, if it's the red, which means the size is over 24 feet. So in here, you will see, kind of like you see the blue and you see the red over here. This is a door part, the 11224 to 11503. Those are the standard stock length sizes, and we have it stock in our shop 8. So on the same thing, all these 21 part right here. So as you can see it, all this part number has a blue color and has a standard stock length sizes, which is entered into the portal under the engineer info. So normally those part we don't look into it at all when we double checking it. We only need to make sure the finish that matching with the job, or as job require. Sometimes it's a mill, sometimes a pink finish. Second, okay, let's look at this. This is the all Metal Takeoff right here. This it just give me an idea the what the cut size will be for this entire job. Is not like our standard procedure is we're gonna optimize every single week and then combine all those week as a final releases. This is just Yana just run the entire job and give me all these different cut size. So I'm gonna using this cut size based on the job and calculate the start length. The takeoff program usually give us a generate the closest start length sizes, but this start length sizes only is total. So which means this start length can be cut one piece on week 1, but the other piece could be happen on whatever week gonna be. But that's not what we are looking for. We're looking for everything per weekly. So in the takeoff folder here, Yana also export a weekly releases for me to look or compare. So what I usually do is I look at the all metal, and then I come into it looking at all those weekly releases and see, do we see some, extreme, red color or lower percentage. If I seize it, then I gotta kind of like go back to the weak one right here and go to the start link recap. Start link recap over here is showing the part under the start link, and then what's the cut size for that week. So the chart over here is a little complicated. So we have, for example, I'm going to using this W752102 as an example right now, which is a horizontal. The program generate a start link size 253, and it's going to cut um, 3 pieces of the 19 inches long, and each of them will have a drop of 196, and those drop will start cutting the item 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, which is, you can see it, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. That's how the program, kind of like optimizing its best per start link with all the different cut size. In here, it will give me an idea why we have a big red color dollar amount for those verticals, which is, I'm going to look in here, and you can see the program generated 228 inches start link sizes and cut 125, and it's only cut one per start link. So what that means is I'm going to throw away about 103 inches drops as a garbage that will not be used again. So that's why we have a lower yield percentage and a big amount of dollars wasted. Um Also, so in here we start looking back to the total, the all metal takeoff Excel sheet, and from there I start identify how many, the quantity of this cut size, and how we gonna generate a new start link sizes if it's required. So what I usually do is I gotta highlight, I kind of like make it a group. I usually copy item over, links to it. I usually keeping things like in different sizes. And in Excel, it's pretty, you don't have to do anything, you can do auto sum. So in this range, I have a 64 right here. In this range of the cut size, I have total about 464 pieces, so on. And so as you remember, I show you, the week one, the majority of the week one is 125 inches. So what I gonna do the math is, okay, how can I get one start link, or one start link per piece, or one start link, 2 pieces per start link, like that. And I believe our lowest start link can order from the vendor is 14 footer. So in here, I kind of do the math is like, okay, if I sum of the total of 128 inches, if I can get one start link and 2 pieces 128 coming out, what would the start link will be, which is 128 times 2. It's a 256, and usually on the top of it we add another 6 inches above, so we can either go 262 or more. So in this case, if I order 262, it will become a 21 foot and 21.833. That's the starting sizes. So I want it up to 264, which is give us, a whole number of 22 footer startling. And if I'm using a 264 and subtract 125 twice, my drop will be at 14 inches at that time. So that's how I kind of like do the math, by breaking down, ranges of the cut size and start, doing the math and calculating it and get the, startling sizes. So in this case, what I did is this is the new one. I asked Yana to try out a startling size of 264 and then kept the original 228 inches startling. And Yana did the math and it came out was pretty good. Sorry, the computer is a little slow. So this is a week one. From what we had all the $1,000 waste, now we bring it down to only total of close to $400 waste only. That's how we calculated the math. There's also another thing that we have to put in when I check into yield percentage. I have to put it as a concern is which part is going to which machines, and also which job this job is going to which shops. Um, Good that the production schedule is telling us ahead. This job is going to this shop, like for example, shop B, shop A, or LA shop. Then I can start plan ahead. Which part is going to which machines, and we already have a pretty much a standardizing. Like horizontal is going to the quadra. Head member is going to the planet, either the planet or a satellite in LA. Verticals, a male vertical going to uh, certain machines, female going to certain machine. So then I can, have time to look ahead, how many pieces can become out per startling, for example, like a head member or horizontals. The difference between, programming and between different machines is like we have a machine that using vices, clamps holding the piece startling, and from there you can only have limited pieces after the machine cut in the startling into a correct cut size in pieces. On Quadra we don't have a limitation, so as long as we don't exceed the startling sizes, which is 290 inches, then we can cut anything that we want from the Quadra. But however, for the satellite and planet, we prefer two clamps clamping one piece of material. So we can on planet we can only have 6 pieces. On satellite we can only have 5 pieces clamp per startling. On Diamond is different. Diamond is everything has to will be pre-cut before we fabricate it. So we only need to make sure the cut size not smaller than 12 inches, then we can fabricating on the machine. So there are all these kind of like a little um how can I say uh concerns that we are putting into when we check the when we are checking the metals. Make sure we don't have to over handling materials or machine cannot cut like this, and then we have to bring in another startling and cut us just a few pieces and have a large drops, and the drops sometimes we just tossed it, which is a big waste for us. um oh, and here's that's a page of Metal Takeoff over here. So let's say if I find something that not clear for me from the starting recap, then I can come in here at the metal takeoff table, filter the part that I'm looking for. In, for example, a vertical. Then I want to see why I have for example, one of the pieces like extremely taller than the others. In here, I can find which unit or elevations that piece is, uh, happening. So I can, ask Yana, say, hey, can you look into it? Why this piece is like this kind of length, like that. Oh, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you for answering all these questions. You know, what for Gabe's questions over here? The maximum start links that we want to order for the machine, we are looking for 290 inches. Okay, if we are fabricating on diamond, planet, or satellite, we can order anything that 300 something inches or above. Okay, and the minimum start link that we order, which is I believe Jan Heather gave it to us, is a 14 footer. You know, so that's what we make sure everything is falling to between those ranges of start link. Any other questions before we move on?
Tony, 290 inches is just for the diamond or for all the machines that you have to program?
We are aiming for all the machines.
All the machines. Okay.
Yep. Also, sometimes we will just kind of like doing one-to-one. We call one-to-one is we order the start link sizes just only like 6 inches, over or longer than the cut size. It depends on the profile sizes. Like Lumen is doing one-to-one. Yeah. Whatever the vertical length is, like for example, 150 inches, we're gonna order 156 because we don't because the profile is too heavy. Um, I forgot the ratio is like I forgot. Yeah, I believe when we order the 15 footer, that thing is almost like 200 pounds or something like that. The vertical. So we just try to we also that's also another concern that we put it in is like we don't want anybody in the shop will get injured by carrying the material over to the machines while they are doing the fabrications. Um, yeah, the size of the profile is also one of the concern to us when we're doing the math. That's a if a time if it's a time range to calculating yield percentage could be taking from 30 minutes to like a whole day, depends on the job size and also the differences between the vertical sizes or the elevation sizes like that. um Other than that, that this is pretty not a simple job, but it's something that it at least has more understanding the background of the shops and the programming, stuff like that. And hopefully, someday, Zach can have some way to doing the optimization, and I don't have to be calculating everything by myself and make it faster. That's one of our goal for the future. Yeah. Um, Pretty much that's it. It's a quick training.
I have a question.
Hmm.
All right, so you kind of went through like Yana creates this, right? She creates this for the takeoff program after she UPD'd it. And she exported the Metal Takeoff summary. And then you kind of look at each part and see if the stock link size can be, modified to make a better, yield, right? So you don't have a lot of waste, right? So then once you do your part, she then goes in back to the takeoff program and then puts those new stock link sizes in the takeoff program and then re-optimizes it, right?
Correct. Yep.
So then there's only a maximum of 2 stock link sizes we can put in there?
Per part in the database, yes. If we have to do something which is we done it before, we probably will renaming the part. For example, if we have something needs we require like a 30 footer, and the quantity is good enough for like 15 pieces, 20 pieces, but no choice, we need it. Then at that time, Yana and I probably would discuss it, and we might make another new part number called W75-4113L, and those is just falling into the 30 footers. Of course, we have to talk to Heather first and make sure Heather, knows it.
Or we can do the finish. We can kind of put it separately as finish too, if we already know it's coming.
Yeah, so Heather explained to us a lot. We try to order everything under 300 inches because of the paint line. From the vendor, it costs us less money. Anything that over 300 inches, they have to become a horizontal paint, which is the paint line is only painting like few startling only. It's not automated anymore, so it has a lot of handling, and it charges a lot more on that time.
Yeah, we also do this kind of in sales, the sales models to get the estimators some numbers exactly like this. And I just had a question. You guys aren't separating everything by like whether it's a strip window or curtain wall. It's all together, right? For all W75 or 95, whatever it is, right?
The weekly release is the one that's driving it. That's why I can answer you. Yeah, the all Metal Takeoff right here is driving by the weekly releases. So it depends on that week what you have, right? What kind of system you have. Sometimes we might have a mix of little punch opening with a strip window like that. But I still looking from this all Metal Takeoff and gives the best yield for the system, even though we are sharing the part. But one thing is like on all the tag wall and field use, we only do one start link, even though the yield percentage is bad. The reason we're doing this is because we learned our lesson is we break it down to different start link sizes, and unfortunately, when the shop they fabricate it, we release it all at once. So when they start trying to running the part, the packaging is like, oh, certain part fabricating from this start link for this package, but some of these pieces over here was fabricating in different size of the start link. So the shop will never finish bundling the material to send it to field. So they have open bundles like all over the place. So they told us like, oh, if we can just do one start link, although the yield percentage is low, that will be a more helpful for them. Then they can just fabricating per packaging list without swapping start link sizes or double handling stuff like that. So we learned those from the shop, and shop give us a feedback from it. Pretty good on that.
So you automatically generate a size and then you use that size. You don't put 2 stock link. You just kind of look at what's the best case and you buy just 1 stock link.
Correct. Yeah, that's how we usually do on the field use and tag wall system.
I think just to add on, when the first optimization that they run that generates the stock link sizes automatically just offers a baseline. Either way, you still got to review it and see if the yield makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then you kind of manipulate the the program to make the yield better. That's
Yeah.
all.
So there's a little comparisons right here, like the week one that we had before was a 55% yield percentage, and then the waste was thousands of, $5,000, $4,000 like that. And after spread it into the two starling, the yield percentage gone way better, and our waste dropped down to only like few $100. Like that. Hopefully those difference goes to our bonus.
So like in this week here, this is this week one, right?
Yep.
So in this week, you're only using one stock length that's 19 foot,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So you're probably using more 19 footers like in the other weeks.
Yes, correct. Mm-hmm. So by looking at the total over here, actually I have it open. Do I have it open? Yes, I have it open right here. You can see this is the job require, 625 of the 19 footer, 107 of 22 footer, like that. That's the total. Also, sometimes, especially for corner mullion, we don't have that many corner mullion for the job. We will just keep it, one startling, even though we see the yield percentage is low. The reason why we're doing this is because when we start doing a 2 startling size order, that's a setup charge, and that setup charge usually considers per pound or the size of the profile. When I see stuff like this, I usually will send an email to Heather and say, hey, I have this many pieces over here for this startling. If I break it down to 2 startling, is it worth it to do that way? Would it charge more by the vendor? And she usually come back to me really quick. It's like, oh, if like that, just do it 1 startling, or oh no, the charge is not actually breaking down to 2 startling is cheaper. Then we will go with the 2 startling sizes at that time. So there's a lot of communication between Yana, Heather, and myself, to make sure the Metal Takeoff is came out really good for the job, for the project. Any other questions?
And just to add on to answer to your question, Gabe. So you see how week one it has that you're pointing out, it only has 1 stock length for the 19 footer and the rest of them 22. So since we break down our units by week, like say week 1 can have most of the curtain wall units on it. So then the verticals are usually a little taller, right? And week 2 has like your strip window. So then you'll probably use more like the 19 footer on week 2 because of, depending on kind of unit or system that it falls in for that week.
So from there, after Heather receive our Metal Takeoff, Heather will take care of the shipping with the vendor. So even though you see 1 piece over here, we're not going to receive 1 piece. We probably will receive the first week of metal with second week. Yeah, because it's not worth it to send 1 piece, 19 footer right here. So Heather usually would do a little extra work on herself, on her side to combine the metals and ship it to the shop. That's pretty much. Yana, you have anything?
No, I just wanted to see how what's your kind of reactions on finishes, because you very often you'll spot something and you kind of like, oh, like just because and also I wanted to say it's very helpful when you're looking at this, because sometimes if you see, let's say you have a corner left side but you don't have a incoming right side, and you kind of asking me how come we don't have it, where did it go? And sometimes it's just like a mistake, which is kind of could be missed if you're not looking at this with kind of mindset.
Okay. So what Yana means, like if I pull out another job right here. So this is a corner right here. Corner usually come as a pair, right? I mean, there's a hardly you have a corner on one side and then the other corner is like an empty. So usually they come as a pair. If I see this there's a table right here, it's a pieces of cut. So when I'm looking at it, if I'm looking at a corner, the male corner 5105 and 5106, if these two numbers are not equal, then I start dig into the metal takeoff right here. I want to find out the reason why they are not equal. So it could be a different sizes. It could be one of them has a transition detail happen at the transitions. So it comes out, oh, I need 2 pieces of the female and 1 piece of male like that. If this is happening, then I usually will let it go. But if it's not, then I will ask Yana, like, hey, why I have an odd number right here? They are not matching the pieces number like that. And Yana will just dig into it. And about the finishes, it just per the detail because I am a part of a software review. So most of the time that I get used to understanding, which part are using what kind of finish, which part I only go with black color, which part are aerodynamic like that. So those are come by the experience. I'm not sure how I can share that one. Yeah. But Yana does a really good job. Really big help because sometimes I came up with some different startling sizes. I will ask her to try it and she will run it, and the result it didn't come out the way that I like it, and I will ask her to try something else, and then she just rerun it again, and I didn't like it, and I said, hey, can you try a different sizes again? So thank you for the patience on that part.
Oh, no problem. I mean, yeah, I think the biggest we rerun it was like 4 times so far. And it wasn't something like very complicated.
So if you can see, Santana West will be a really good example. Is you can see the race over here is like $33,000, $29,000, and after we modify the startling sizes, we bring it down to less than half of them, like that. And the reason why we have such a huge amount over here compared with the yield percentage is because this is a total of the entire job. But for Yana and I is we focus on weekly more. We try to bring down the weekly releases, the yield percentage and the dollar amount lower, which is you're gonna get more from it.
Yeah, those are really high stock length quantities you can see.
Yeah. And most of the time that before we break down and after we break down, right here usually come with between, we'll say 500 to 150 pieces startlings different, depends on how we're breaking down the startling sizes. Because sometimes you can, like I said, we can cut multiple per startling, and then the other one we probably do 1-to-1 ratio.
Tony, what's your number you usually add to like top and bottom if you're trying to estimate your cut plus 3 inches top and bottom and plus 6? What is it?
It's all depends on this method over here, the range. Okay. I usually, if I see the range between, let's say this is 128 and some of them is 121, I usually take the highest. I take the highest, and then I want to see if I use this one, 264 minus 128 twice, and then the drop, and I just times the total of this one. That's how I do the math. Okay, so I want to see the difference between, you know, the big drops or small drops with the total quantity. I keep it as a range because it can be various between here. It's only a few inches. It's not gonna make it as a big deal. And from there, once I get the startling sizes, anything, I mean, once I combine it to create a startling sizes, on the top of it, I will add another 6 to 8 inches more. Depends on your job. If I know the job is still under drafting or ongoing, then we add more, you know. If the job is already complete, you know, done with the drafting, then we only go 6 inches. That's it. Which is countering, you know, we call front and back piece of cut. What that means is when every single time when there's a machining, when we're fabricating a pieces on the machine, it's always have a front, we call front cut and end piece cut, which is when the material coming out from the vent, from the extruder, the front and the end is always, you know, not a smooth part. And also when the material going to the paint line, there's a little clip gripping at the top piece, dragging the piece through the paint line, and that little clip right there, it makes a mark on the material. The front and the end pieces, we don't want to use it. So we also add those into it, and also the blade thickness cut per, you know, machines, which is close to 1/8. We're adding all these little extra calculation into it and get the startling sizes.
So your stockling size includes that?
Yep.
The 3 inches or whatever it is?
Yep. 3 inches is our takeoff program adds on, and then on the, yeah. But usually we will add a little extra on the top of it. Any other questions? It's not a rocket science, huh?
No,
Yeah.
it is actually.
I can tell you this. If you've been in curtain wall long enough, you used to have to do this manually by hand. And oh my gosh, this is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a tools that is really big help, you know. Yeah.
It's a lost art.
Yeah. And understanding about the shops, how they do the work, will also a part of helping us to calculating the startling sizes. Yep. If anyone wants to learn, wants to help me out, welcome.
Yes, please, because Tony can't go on vacation when we do the metal takeoffs.
Tony does this in his sleep. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Never sleeps.
That's true.
Yeah. Any other questions other than what you guys seeing over here? I know it was a quick one because this is I don't want to pick a big job, or, you know, the job that really complicated or have so many different pieces, just like Santana West, you know, like that. Recently all the job is pretty straightforward, you know, so this process wasn't taking too long. Maximum probably only like an hour only. Any other questions? Anything guys you want to know?
Sorry, I have
Beyond
so
of
many
this.
questions.
Okay.
One more question, Tony. Can you go back to that page we're looking at?
Starting recap?
Yeah, just to make sense of this. So, like for this part number, let me just draw. So for this one here, it says there's 8 drops at 100 inches. Is that right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And then it's used. Those drops are used for item 20, so it's used for this length.
Correct.
Here?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why it says 100 cut from drops there.
Okay. Yeah. So,
okay.
Let me go a little deeper. You got a startling. You got an item number. You got a cut size, which is this cut size is round up most of the time. because we are doing metal takeoff. So that's why you're seeing the round number. You don't see 116 or 132nd like that. Cut per startling, means like how many pieces is going to be cut with this cut size in this startling. And you will see some of them is say, oh, cut from the drop is 0 because we are not cutting anything on, from the drop. Like Gabriel just pointed out, is like when there's a drop, the pole or this chart will tell you, oh, there's an A piece of drop like this much. And then we were using item for item number 20. And then you see under item number 20 here is 172 pieces in 75 inches long. But 100 of them were cutting from the drop, which means the rest of them, they were cutting per startling, and each startling, we can cut 3 pieces from there.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. And as you can see over here, total startling require, if you do 1 to 1, you have a 64 quantity. Of course, you need a 64. But you are cutting multiple pieces from the startling, then it will tell you, oh, I need a startling to cut this cut size in 8 pieces, so on and so on, whatever like that.
So I don't know if Tony mentioned this, but it gets like more complicated to break these down when you have 2 different stock lengths for, like, say, so typically verticals are the ones with 2 different stock lengths. So so what Tony can control is the total pieces that gets cut, from that stock length, right? But he can't break it down, like specifically which pieces get cut from where, right? So for him, when he tries to make the yield even better, like he's at the mercy of the program. Like he'll just plug in a number and hopefully it cuts a certain piece that he wants at the certain cut size, stock length. So that's the part that doesn't, allow for any type of like modification. It's just we're at the mercy of the program, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. So as you can see from here, some of them falling, 125 inches falling to the, the large startling sizes, and then some of them are falling to the smaller one. When we come to the weekly releases on that part, sometimes I ask Yana, say, hey, the program give us this much quantities on this startling sizes, and also B quantity for the, these startling sizes. Let's force it, we will force the number. We can force the number, like, let's say I want 40 of them only on the large startling sizes. But even though the program say I need 45, but let's force 40 and then make the program to pick, the rest of, the best cut size, come out from that 40, and the rest of them using on the short one, or the smaller startling sizes. So we could have a little, pay room over there, but not always works, because sometimes the program will reject us. It still give us an error message because the program doesn't like it somehow. Yeah, but I would say 8 out of 10 we could do that. We can force it. Yeah, like Eric just mentioned it. Most of the time you will see 2 startling is only happens on vertical. Occasionally you will see it on the head stack joint only. Okay, that's all. Yeah, the rest of them we try not to go 2 startling sizes because too much handling, and then the shop has to find the 2 different startling and put it into the shop like that. It's not worth it. Yeah, it's taking them too long to identify where the material is like that. Anything else? Gabe, any questions?
I think I'm good.
Good.
Hey, I have a question. Hey, on the so when you show them the metal order form, we had the combined metal order form. It just adds up the weekly releases together to make the combined, which is how different is that quantity from the all metal takeoff.
Yana?
Say it again, Chris. Sorry,
Um,
my kid was yelling.
So on the metal order forms that we give to the PM,
Mhm,
they're usually the combined metal order form,
mhm,
which is just it adds up all the weekly releases together
mhm.
and gives you a quantity. What is the difference between that quantity and the all metal takeoff?
It's a big difference. So the metal takeoff gets optimized. The all metal takeoff form, it gets optimized regardless weeks. It gets optimized like it's a stick ball job basically. So usually, if you look at the quantities between the combined and that one, you see big difference because the combined one is made out of the weekly ones. So we take the weekly ones with Tony looking at each week and we combine them together into this one. So the numbers will be very different, especially on the verticals.
So how does that translate to um, checking the math in the all metal takeoff if it's drastically different from
Oh,
the combined?
oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm.
Or the all metal takeoff, we don't really pay attention to these numbers,
Mhm.
the quantities, of the startling. We only use it to calculating the startling sizes because you have everything, shows up over here for the entire job.
Yeah, he just
So
uses it for
as an
totals to see the
idea,
total, what's the
yeah.
numbers on the whole job. So he doesn't have to like look on every week. He can just see what typical numbers on the job.
So like the majority of this job is 125 inches, if you can see it over here. But if you go into weekly, sometimes you have like a 20 weeks, then you have to dig into the every single week and find out what's the majority sizes for the entire job. And it takes time. So we tried a many different way, and so far we find that this way is more efficient, to us. Especially Yana doesn't have to combine it. She just run the all metal takeoff and that's it.
No,
Yeah.
I cannot combine metal takeoffs, the forms. I can only combine metal order forms.
Yeah.
So, but the metal takeoff forms, it's the main tool what Tony uses. He just looks on a bigger one to see like the total
Yeah.
of the stock links used.
It's more like a reference, we're using as a referencing the entire job. Like I showed it to you earlier is, if I see something doesn't make sense to me, I can come in here, filter the part number for the entire job and find out which part at which, elevation or unit it acts, different, or the metal takeoff or the tag or something could be, done differently at that time.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so this number could be fake, but it's close enough. The metal takeoff, as I show it to you guys, this is the total. And as you can see it, the quantities right here is 125 for this job. But when you look at these combined, oh, not this one. It's 107 only. Because of weekly, we require more material. Yeah, we don't use the job to cut it from different weeks. Sometimes the shop will keep the drop, just for safe. They may able to reuse it sometime, but most of the time they will just set it on the rack and sooner or later just going to become a junk. They just trash it. Okay, if there's no more questions, and that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tony. The
Thanks,
class is
Tony.
very popular, as
Right.
you can see.
Thanks,
Thanks a
Tony.
lot, Tony.
Thanks,
Thank you, Tony.
Thanks,
Tony,
Tony.
Gary,
Thanks,
thanks,
Tony.
Tony.
Thank you.